Alright, today is the day I do a long-awaited kind of a upgrade on my tuners here. I'm going to get rid of these guitar-style tuners off the old Morgan Monroe and see if I can't go ahead and take this clip-on thing that holds a GoPro on there, because a few years ago when I was doing the how-to videos, I had a GoPro mounted right here, and so to show down the neck what I was doing with the chords and stuff. But haven't used that in a few years, that technique, so I'm getting rid of that. So I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these out of here. Now we'll probably have to do some drilling, because the replacements here are these little machine tuners here. These aren't the most expensive ones. These are a cheap one. According to the bag I got them out of, it says a 4-to-1 ratio. I don't believe that, because I've already did the testing on it. If it can come into focus. Can you focus? Can you focus? No? I'll hold you down there. Could you focus then? Anyway, there. Well, alright, fine. I'm having difficulty getting it to focus. But anyway, these here are according to the bag, is a 4-to-1 ratio. Let's turn it to another light. Maybe it'll work. There it goes. Somewhat. But after I did the revolution test, I marked it right here, right where that index is, where that hole is, and I spun it down here at the nut. I got about a 9 revolutions before this hole come back. I'm sorry for it going in and out of blur focus. But anyway, so I'm guessing it's probably about a 10-to-1 ratio and not a 4-to-1. But that's what I'm gonna say anyway. 10-to-1 ratio. What 10-to-1 ratio means is a full revolution of the post, when it makes a full circle back around to a beginning point. That's your revolution. And depending on how many turns that you turn this button to make one full revolution, that's how you get your ratio. 6-to-1, that means it takes 6 turns on this button down here to make one full revolution on the post. 10-to-1, 10 turns on the button to make one revolution on this. And I'm thinking it's about a 9 to 10-to-1 ratio, pretty much, on these. These aren't a high end. They got these for like $20, made in China. But I don't need the most expensive stuff. So they do have some higher quality out there. Check them out. Just for my situation, these will do me just fine. I just play at home. I don't play on the stage and in front of a bunch of people. So I just do how-to videos and workshop videos. So these do me just fine. But I wanted to kind of upgrade a little bit and reward a little bit on the old Joe, because it's done me well over the past 5-6 years that I've had it. So let's get busy. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna show you how to do one, and that's pretty much. I'm gonna do one of these, and I'm gonna do that fifth string tuner. Kind of show y'all how this goes. It's pretty easy. It's got an index on it. That's what that spike is. When it does, it seats into the wood as you draw it tighter with the barrel nut up here. It draws it into the wood to keep it from moving around. It keeps it stationary. Planetary tuners, I guess is another name for these. Oh, now you get in focus. Great. So yeah, let's get busy on this. Now, I'm going to take one of these out, and I got a feeling I'm going to have to probably do some drilling to bore out that hole a little bit bigger for this guy. Usually the guitar tuners are a smaller diameter hole than the planetary tuners, so we're going to have to check that out. I think right now that's probably a 5/8 drilled out hole for those that are sitting in right now, and this is probably going to be like a 3/8 or something. So we're going to dig into it and get busy. Turn that light on a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to need a small screwdriver to take out that small one here that I had been using. These guitar tuners, these are these worm gear tuners. pretty much. Or you know, actually no, this probably is it probably a machine tuner too, some sort of type. The worm gear has that straight post that comes through here, and it turns a little cog on the side there. Let me get my hand out of the way. So I'm gonna take one of these out for time reference here. So this shouldn't just kind of show you how you would set one in here. Take that out, and I save every piece that I ever pull out of these things. Now, up here on the top, turn this over and show you which one I'm taking out here. It's got the hex nut on top of it. Let me focus y'all in a little better. Y'all kind of see what I'm doing here. It's got this little hex nut on here. That's probably looks like about a 10 millimeter, maybe ish. I should have had everything already set out, but I don't. Here's my 10, and we'll see how true that is. Yep, that's a 10. That's tightening, so I need to go the other way. There it goes. Oop. And once you loosen it up one good time, it'll just come. You can just do it by hand after that. It's real easy, guys. It's not hard. Pull that out. That's your barrel nut. That's how it works. Drop that, collect your that, and I always put this stuff right back together so I don't lose anything. These tuners are still good. There's nothing wrong with them at all. So I could use these again if I need to. Alright, so pretty much a little bit of the opposite. They actually fit right in there really well, so I don't have to do any drilling. But I hope that a little bit of scotch of a play that I got in there, hopefully that won't bother it too much. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the hardware. Maybe go ahead and set that index in there. Kind of let's go ahead and have it set in there, because it just peels into it just seats into the wood. So hang on just a second. Alright, so it's not really screwed in, but I'm just trying to see. I'm nervous as hell about that little bit of play that's there. Let me see if this washer, it fits there. I don't know if I gotta kind of fill it in a little bit, maybe, but we're gonna soon find out. Now we just put the screw on it. Now it's not on there all the way, so don't worry about that height right now. I just gotta get the wrench and start getting it a little tighter. What do I do with my wrench? I always do this to myself. I have it and then I get rid of it. What did I do with it? Moved it on myself here. Come on. I'm going to use something with a little bit of torque behind it. Kind of raise y'all up a little bit. See what I'm using. 10 millimeter. Now I'm going to kind of hold this into place and hopefully kind of straighten it out and stuff. And if the hole proves that it could be too big and it not stay put, I will fill it in with something. But we're going to see if it'll hold its own just the way it is. You don't want to go too tight, but you want to make sure that thing gets set in there. That's good. That's good. I'm not going to dig in because I can be digging into the wood, and I'm not. I'm right where I want to be with that. And it looks like it's in there pretty well. It's still moving kind of smooth, and it's not moving back and forth. It's tight, so I'm not going to worry about filling that in. I think it'll be just fine. So there's one of those already set in there. See? Oh, easy. I'm on a glass table. That's the right thing to do with this. I don't have my workbench in here yet in the studio. And I can see that it's fully set down into the wood. And it's smooth. It's smooth. I'm just making sure everything functions. Alright, so let me show you the fifth string tuning peg real quick, and I'll let y'all go. Just because pretty much the rest of them are the same way. You know, there's no sense in me trying to go through it all right here in front of you. Alright, so they're fifth string tuning pegs. They just push in. And they got these splines on them. Y'all can see that. Oh, if it'll focus for me. Focus. Anyway, so you got these splines on the shaft there, and it just sits into the wood. Some of them already have the index on them, like the tuning peg I just put in. But this one doesn't particularly have one. These are kind of the lower end ones, but they should still do what I need it for. So really these just pop out. And let me see how easy this one pops out, because it's never been popped out before. And hopefully they didn't glue that in there. If they glued that, I'm going to play hell trying to get it out of there. So let's see just how easy that comes out. You should just be able to pull it straight out. Alright, it's not coming out too easy. Alright, so I got it out of there. I just very easily put my pliers behind this piece here and just kind of use it as kind of a nice little shim to help me out, and just pushed my hand against it. Just pushed against it like that, and it came straight out. You want to be careful of that, and of not really hammering or beating. Now, if these are glued in there, if some people like to use wood glue to help them stay in there, I kind of recommend not doing that, because you really play hell. If it starts to slip out, all you gotta really do is push it back in there, and you're just fine. If they do use glue, get you a soldering iron and go work around this little metal piece back here. Careful not to touch the wood too much, because you can ruin your finish. And just heat that metal up. That way the heat gets dispersed all the way down here on this piece, and it'll heat that glue up and kind of work it, and you can probably just pop it right out. So this is the old one. It's out. So here's the new one, and let's see. We just put it in there. I want to canter it down a little bit to where the angle of this shaft is kind of like that, because that's my personal preference. You can have them straight up and down in there, but I like to have it canted down a little bit, just like that. So I'm just going to pop it in there and see. This one might be a little bit big for it. Push it in. This might be a little bit too big, maybe. Maybe I should file that hole out a little bit. Give me just a second. Alright, I'm going to see if filing that hole a little bit helps out. Very easy, subtle movements. Just kind of file it out. I'm moving some wood, not too much. Let's see if I kind of clean it up a little bit and I can get this big guy in there. And if I can't get it in there, I'll go back to using the old one. I ain't gonna worry about it, because I could potentially damage the neck getting this in there. This might get ugly, so yeah, just bear with me. Alright, so as I'm filing this, it's working for my situation. It might not, every situation will be different. Make sure you just go, I'm just going with the circle that's already there. And I'm removing some wood, and that might have helped. I don't want to remove too much. We'll just see if it goes in there now. It goes to about right there, and it stops right there. Might have to get a little bit uglier with it. Alright, so I'm still fighting this thing, getting it in there. Still trying to figure this out. Maybe it's not the front that's holding it off. Maybe when it gets to that certain point in the back. Wait a minute. Hold it. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, it went in there. It sunk. You guys are my good luck charm. Look at that. And I'm not worried about that coming out. Wait a minute, hang on. Nope. I just put the old one in there. So I'm thinking that it's probably holding it off in the back and not the front. It's the front. So what I'm going to do is do something real crazy here. I'm going to get me a small size drill bit and kind of clean that out a little bit, because maybe there's some wood deposit in there. It's kind of pushing against this to keep it from going in there smooth. Because the front, I've already kind of whittled it out a little bit. And I don't want to do that no more. So I'm going to go ahead and try my little drill bit idea. Now, keep in mind, I'm not drilling through. I'm just laying the drill bit inside the hole. You notice I got a smaller size bit. And I'm just kind of going around like this with the drill on. Kind of clean out the little bit of wood that's in there. And I've done that for a few seconds. So let me see. I don't want to go too far with this. I just want to take my time and get that right in there. And it's still refusing. I want to go in there. So let me show you what I've done so far. Turn it on. Get all the way out. Don't drill through. Just clean out the hole. Now, let's see what we got now. She's still stopping halfway. What in the devil is the deal? There shouldn't be anything catching it. Yeah. I'll be damned. This thing actually still works. I'm trying to remove some metal on the back of this. Now it's not a problem of it fitting anymore. Now it's just too long. So would you please focus? Here? There? Anywhere? Anyway. Sorry y'all, it's just one of them things. I just don't want to focus. The light must not be right. So I'm going to click this on again and remove just a little bit more metal on the back there. Don't do what I do. I beg you. Don't do what I do. Take it to a professional. Oh, that's heating up pretty good. What I've been doing is I've been grinding it, then cooling it down at the fan. I don't want that metal getting too hot. It's kind of cooling it. Why won't my phone focus? Good grief. Like the 1980s or something. Turn the light out. Maybe that's probably what it is. Cool it down. Then coming back. Hit it again. That might have removed something. Huh, who knew? Now that's sitting in there beautiful. Now, if that thing does not focus, I'm going to get real mad. But anyway, it's sitting in there perfect. Oh man, I don't know why my phone ain't focusing too well. Sorry y'all. You can't tell it in the phone, but see it in there pretty good. Now I may want to go against my better judgment here and go ahead and maybe glue this into place. This is probably the last time I ever do the tuners anyway, but I'll see what it does. If it starts to work its way out with the string, the only way that's going to work its way out is if I pull it out. So if I just keep some tension against it, it should be fine. So there you go. I'm going to continue on changing the tuners out in this thing. The next video is going to be the banjo head. I'm swapping that out for the first time in 5 years. I'm going to put a new head on it, new strings on it, and this thing will be raring to go. So, oh look, next, I had to move this thing around so much, the neck's actually moving around. But anyway, thank you so much for clicking on. Part 2 is coming up. Goodbye. Keep playing, guys.